Welcome to our video, again on the division array method. Some of you still were struggling, so I'm going to break this down a little bit slower. I'm going to draw this box here because I'm going to set up something kind of like we did in multiplication, except this time I want to know how many hundreds are in this problem. I want to know how many tens, and I want to know how many ones. So I'm going to take 9 and I'm dividing 756 into 9 groups. I have my hundreds, tens, and ones. So this is going to be the hundreds. This is the tens. This is the ones. Okay? I know that if I had 100 right here, 9 times 100 is 900. That is way bigger than this 756. So I do not have any hundreds in this problem. So I'm going to write 756 in this box. And I want to see how many times does 9 go into 756. I know that 9 times 10 is 90. I know I can do bigger than that. 9 times 20 is 180 because 9 times 2 is 18. Put a 0 on the end, that's 180. 9 times 30, that's going to be 270. 9 times this 40, well, 9 times 4 is 36. Put a 0 on the end, that's 360. I can go higher than that. 9 times 50, 9 times 5 is 45. Put a 0 on the end, that's 450. 9 times 6 is going to be 54. And then I'm going to put a 0 on the end, and that's 540. I can go bigger. 9 times 7 is 63. Put a 0 on the end, that's 630. I'm getting pretty close to this 756. I want to get there without going over it. 9 times 8 is 72. Put a 0 on the end, that's 720. That's really close. Because if I did 9 times 90, well, that's 81, and put a 0 on the end, that's 810. So I need this number 80 right here. So 9 times 80 is going to be 720. Then I'm going to subtract. And that leaves me with 36. So now I need to see how many ones do I need to make 36. Well, I know that 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is going to be 18. 9 times 3 is going to be 27. 9 times 4 is 36. There's my magic number. Now I can subtract, and I put a 0 there. So I used 4 ones, and I used 8 tens, which equals 80. So 80 plus 4 is 84. So my answer is 84. And if I take 9 and I multiply it by 84, 9 times 4 is 36, carry the 3. 8 times 9 is 72, 73, 74, 75. And my answer checks right back here to my dividend. So this is my dividend, this is my divisor. If I take my divisor and I multiply it by this, it should give me back to this. It's kind of like a fact family. So that problem, we didn't have any hundreds. This problem, let's see if we are going to have any hundreds. I'm going to move my box down so it doesn't interfere with my problem. So I have a 4 here, and I'm going to see how many hundreds, how many tens, and how many ones are needed to go into 496. Well, 496, I do have 100 in there. So I can take 4 times 100 and put a 400 right here, subtract it, and it leaves me with 96. So I do have 100. Now I have to move the 96 over here because I need to figure out how many tens are in there. So 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times 20 is 80. 4 times 30 is 120. I went way too far over. So I need 20. 4 times 20 is 80. And I'm going to write the answer to that problem right here. So I needed the 20. So I'm going to subtract. And that leaves me with 16. Well, I can't do any more 10s there with the number 4. So I have to move the number 16 over here to the ones section. I know that 4 times 4 is 16. So 4 times 4 is 16. And then I'm going to subtract, and I have a 0. So I have 100 not times, 100 plus 20 plus 4. So my answer is 124. And if I check 124 times 4, it should get me back to 496. And it does. Okay, now I have 2 digits right here. And I have a number all the way into the thousands. So now I want to see how many thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. So I'm going to put thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. And I'm going to put TH for thousands. So, if I did 12 times 1,000, that's going to give me a lot. That's going to give me 12,000. Well, this number is only 1,289, so I do not have any thousands. Now, I'm going to see how many hundreds I have. So, 12 times 100 is 1,200 because it's 12. So I'm going to put 1,289 right here. 12 times 100 is going to be 12, and then put 2 zeros at the end. So now I'm going to subtract, and that leaves me with 89. So that was easy. I needed 100. Now I'm going to move my 89 over here to this box. So 12 times 10, well, that's going to be 120, so that's way too much. So I am going to put 12 times, I need just 110. Because 12 times 1, so I'm going to have to move over here to my ones place because I'm not going to have any 10s because that can't work. I can't do 110 because 10 is going to be 120. So I can't do that. So I don't have any 10s in this problem. I have no 10s. Can't do it. So I have to move my 89 over here to the ones place. So now I can go 12 times 1. Whoops, I've changed it to red, sorry. Let me fix this. Back to the 89. 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 is going to be 24. 12 times 3 is 36. 12 times 4 is going to be 48. 12 times 5 is 60. 12 times 6 is going to be 72. 12 times 7 is going to be 84, and 12 times 8 is going to be too big because it's 96. So I have to choose the 7 right here. So 12 times 7 is going to be 84. And then I have that pesky remainder. But my remainder is smaller than my divisor. So I'm good. So I have to take the 100 plus no 10s, no thousands, but plus 7 ones. So my answer is going to be 107 with a remainder of 5. And if I check it, you can do 107 times 12. And that 107 times 12 is going to be 1,284 plus 5 is going to be 1,289. You do not have to worry about checking the ones with 3 digits by 2 digits because we have not done that and you don't need to do that unless you want to. So now I have another problem where I have 22 and I need to see how many thousands, how many hundreds, tens, and ones. So I have thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. So I have 3,467. Well, this is where it starts to get tricky. So I'm going to say 22 times 1,000 is going to give me 22,000. That is way too big. So I know that that's not going to work. So now I'm going to say 22 times 100. Well, I'm going to move my 3,467 here. So 22 times 100 is going to give me 2,200. So can I do that? Yes, I can. So now I have 1,267. I'm going to take 1,267 and I'm going to move it to the tens. So 22 times 10 is going to be 220. 22 times 20 is going to be 440. 22 times 30, well, 22 times 3 is pretty interesting because it's going to be 66 and then put a 0 at the end, and that's 660. 22 times 4 is going to be a double number again. 88, put a 0 on the end, that's 880. 22 times 50 is going to be 1,100. 22 times 60 is going to be 1,320, which is way too much. So I'm going to say 22 times 50 is 1,100. Now I can subtract again, and I know that 22 times 50 is 1,100, so I put my answer here. I multiplied 22 times this 50 and put my answer down here. And I'm going to do my subtraction, which is going to give me 167. So 22 times 1 is 22. 22 times 2 is 44. 22 times 3 is 66. 22 times 4 is going to be 88. 22 times 5 is going to be 110. 22 times 6 is going to be 132. 22 times 7 is going to be 154. 22 times 8 is going to be 176. So I have to pick 7, because 22 times 7 is going to be 154. 7 minus 4, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. 6 minus 5 is going to be 13. 13 is smaller than 22, so I am done. So I have to take the 50 plus the 7, which is going to equal 57. And I have a remainder of 13. Now, I have a double-digit remainder, but my double-digit remainder is still smaller than this number, so it still works. So I hope slowing down this video helped you. And again, if you need some more help, feel free to ask. Have a great